Hi and welcome everyone. Congratulations for being here today. We are so excited for you to be joining us in this seminar 1 Customer Profitability Analysis. So before we get started, I want to ask, have you downloaded the notes yet? No? Okay, you can pause this video and go to Google Classroom to get the notes, or you can go to the description below. We have provided a link where you can download the notes directly. So if you have the notes already, let's get started. Okay, before we get started, let me introduce myself first. My name is Atiqah Syuhada binti Azmi, and this is the rest of my group members. Noor Shahira binti Zainurin, Ezureen Shahira binti Muzaffar, Munirah binti Amran, and lastly Noor Amni Afiqah binti Nizam. Definition and purposes of customer profitability analysis. It is defined as a management accounting method that allows the organization or leader to determine the profitability of each customer or a group of customers. It is by attributing the profit and the cost of each customer separately. So basically, we can say that one good customer is better than 9 bad customers. In this video, we will learn how to determine who your best customers are and how to get lots of them. The CPA also helps marketers and business owners understand the net profit that coming from each individual customer. CPA consists individual customer net profit. In other words, the revenue minus all the costs and expenses associated with that customer. This analysis helps business owners understand which customers bring more profit to their company. With the implementation of proper knowledge of CPA, it will help the company drive up their profit. So, customer profitability analysis use activity-based costing technique to assign cost to individual customer or customer group. In this case, the customer is the cost object instead of we're using product or services. We also keep in mind that the difference in revenue which also impact the profitability and can vary depending on the customer or customer groups. Next, we're gonna go into the process of CPA. So first, it helps to distinguish which customer are costing for you or making money for you, so that the company can monitor profitability performance and keeping your initiative and business goals aligned. Usually, the customer will be split into customer groups and based on service level or in segments on buying behaviors or preferences. Next is it helps the company to focus on the most profitable group of customers, which entitled to be the loyal customer by maximizing their wants and meet their expectations. The reason is to identify profitable customers so we can focus on retaining them. And then we identify the low profit or lost customers so we can work on how to fix this and identify the type of customer that we should focus to maximize the profit. And lastly, CPA also helps to formulate the technique of pricing for a different product and customer so that they will know which group of customer that can afford to pay certain level of price. Generally, you will find the customer that have high cost to serve will yield low profit unless they pay the prices. And then a customer that have low cost to serve will yield better net margin, and they will increase as the revenues from the customer can be increased depending on the customer's sensitivity to the prices. Okay, next, so let's look into the advantages and disadvantages of CPA. Basically, for the advantages, CPA improves the profitability by eliminating non-profitable customer and maximizing sales or services to profitable customer. CPA also give an understanding of the true cost of each customer segment, including taking into account non-production costs when determining profitability. So basically, non-production costs can sometimes be more significant than production costs. Okay, next is CPA provides a method of identifying customer groups who are of a lifetime value to the company and are worth protecting and retaining. And lastly, CPA improves the strategic decision making by providing useful information for customer-related decisions, including pricing, discounting, and marketing decisions. Okay, next is the disadvantages of CPA. Okay, basically when companies implement CPA, they may not have the data capture system to produce an accurate estimation of customer segmental revenues and costs. Okay, next is there may be practical difficulties in calculating costs attributable to each segment, since implementing ABC is often challenging for many companies. Next is CPA may overlook the combination of products or services purchased by customer. Customer profitability depends on the mix of products or services bought. So the danger is that the analysis will be used on specific underperforming products or services and will overlook the impact of sales of other products to the customer. Okay, lastly, an annual profitability may not be representative of lifetime value, since the cost of attracting and retaining a customer should be compared with the lifetime earnings and not just with the customer annual earnings. That's all from me. Bye. I'm going to pass you to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Atiqah. Okay, I will continue this presentation. Okay, customer cost analysis and its purpose. What is customer cost analysis and its purpose? Okay, it is an analysis of the cost of product purchased by the customer as well as the cost of any other customer-driven activities from any part of the value chain. The cost of the product purchased by the customer are assigned to the customer along with the cost of any other customer-driven activities. In customer profitability analysis, the cost of all activities used to support customer or a customer group are accumulated and compared with the revenue generated by that customer or customer group. The relative profitability of particular customers or group of customers can be determined and used for a range of strategic decisions. There are three levels of customer-driven costs. First is order level, customer level, market level. Okay, what is order level? Order level is the activities that are triggered each time an order is placed by a customer and are driven directly by the selling and delivery of individual customers' orders. For example, it's like a processing customer order, raise an invoice, packing the order, deliver the goods, and collect the amounts owed. Okay, second is customer level. What is customer level actually? Okay, customer level is the activity that related to acquire new customer or maintain each customer or customer group. Okay, negotiate with a new customer may trigger activities such as credit evaluation and making the initial customer contact. Okay, maintaining an existing customer can involve ongoing sales, calls, technical support, complaint handling, provision of samples and catalogs, and cash collection. Okay, the third level is market level. Market levels is the activities that are related to a particular market or a class of customers. These activities are performed to define and analyze customer needs, develop new technology to satisfy customer needs. Okay, maintain a presence in a particular market and attract new customers. For example, include advertising, market research, and trade shows. There are 5 core customer measures. First is market share, second is customer acquisition, third is customer retention, fourth is customer satisfaction, and fifth is customer profitability. Okay, the definition for the market shares is the proportion of an organization's sales to total industry sales. An example is the proportion of an organization organization sales to major retailers compared with total industry sales to those retailers, and also changes in an organization's market shares each quarter. Second is customer acquisition. The definition is the rate at which an organization attracts and wins the customer. The example is the number of new customer, total sales of new customer, sales to existing customer as a proportion of total sales. Okay, the third one is customer retention, which is the rate at which a business maintains ongoing relationship with customer. The example is sales of existing customer as a proportion of total sales. And the fourth is customer satisfaction. The definition is the satisfaction of customers in terms of specific criteria. What is the example? The example is customer satisfaction survey that address the level of satisfaction with specific criteria such as product reliability, technical support, and product features. And last is a customer profitability. The definition is the profit attributable to a customer or customer group. Then the example is the change in customer profitability per quarter, proportion of lost customer compared to profitability customer. Thank you. Okay, I will pass this presentation to Ms. Munirah for 6 key steps to implement customer profitability analysis.
Thank you to Noor Shahira. So I will continue with explain 6 key steps to implement customer profitability analysis. So, there are 6 key steps that can be used by companies to implement customer profitability analysis. The first steps are customer segmentation. The basis for customer segmentation will differ across companies and across industries. Currently, there are 2 basic approaches to customer segmentation. The first approach is demographic segmentation, which is based on observable characteristics such as geographic area, customer age, customer sex, and income level. The second approach is psychographic segmentation. It is based on customer needs and behavior such as customer values, attitudes, and interests. The second step in implement customer profitability analysis is revenue attributable to each segment. Once segments have been identified, the annual revenue is calculated on segment by segment basis. How this is done will depend on the product or services offered by the company. Adjustment to the price paid by the customer for a product or services such as discounts, service fees, or product enhancement fees must be included to determine the true amount of revenue generated by each customer and the aggregate amount calculated for the customer segment. The third step for implement customer profitability analysis is use ABC or activity-based costing to determine the cost attributable to each segment. The annual cost is calculated per segment. This will involve both directly attributable product or service costs and also customer costs. It is including allocation of overheads, promotions, sales, and distribution costs. It is this type of customer costs which are often hidden, such as quality control and inspection costs, order picking, order fulfillment, and customer ordering costs. Activity-based costing is an effective way to assign both types of costs to customers. The fourth step is analyze the profitable versus the less profitable or unprofitable customer segments. The profitable customer segment defined as those whose annual revenue exceeds annual costs. The less profitable whose generate less annual revenue, while unprofitable customer segment will either break even annual revenue and annual costs or make loss. The profitability of customer segment are likely to fluctuate from year to year. Thus, a more precise analysis could be implied in calculating profitability over the lifetime of each customer segment. So that's all from me. Next, I will pass to Ezureen to continue explain the next steps to implement customer profitability analysis.
Thank you, Munirah. So, let's moving on to the step number 5. Step 5 is on how they are going to develop strategies to maximize profit from profitable customers and reduce or eliminate less profitable or non-profitable customers. In this step, for the profitable customer segment, a detailed planning will be incurred around the long-term customer relationship establishment to increase revenue and hence profitability. There are two strategies are used to deal with the least profitable or non-profitable consumer groups, which is eliminations and re-engineering. In elimination, we tend to cease the activities involved supplying to this group of customer segments. For example, terminate supply to these customers, no longer marketing to these customers, change the product or services, and raising the price. Re-engineering. Re-engineering is an action where the company will transform unprofitable to profitable customer by increasing the revenue and decreasing the cost attributable. Step 6. Step 6 is focusing on reviewing the impact of the new strategies on the performance of the customer segments. The proposed strategy to be implemented has to be inspected in order to measure the impact on the performance of the customer segments or their probability. For example, the implementations of the new strategies such as changes in pricing and cost reduction, it should be reviewed after an appropriate period to determine the impact towards customer profitability. Now, let us take a look at an example of real case that implement customer profitability analysis. So, the company that we have chosen is a hotel located in Georgetown, Penang, Malaysia. The hotel is a 4-star hotel, however, the hotel is kept for anonymous for research purposes. As for the customer profitability analysis, the customer of the hotel was separated into 5 different segments. The first customer segmentation is come from workers travel for business purpose. These guests are usually from companies that travel for business purposes. These customers spend very little time in their rooms and they tend to use the hotel's cafe at the lobby, laundry services, and executive meeting rooms that are frequently used to entertain visitors. For the customer segmentation 2, come from group of guests under travel agents. These customers seldom use the food services of the hotel, whether it is the room service or the restaurant. These guests use the hotel swimming pool and other facilities that are free of charge for in-house guests. When these customers occupy room, additional service staff have to be brought in to ensure breakfast buffet services are maintained smoothly. The customer segmentation number 3 comes from the guests that make reservations through online websites or through direct calls made to the hotel receptions. They typically come and stay with family or friends and use most of the hotel's facilities such as spa, gymnasium, swimming pools, restaurants, and etc. These customers often use the tour package and transportations of the hotel that is added to their bill. For the customer segmentation number 4 is come from the guests who attend social events. These guests only pay for the room rent and their food and beverages are usually covered under the payments made for the banquet hall or ballroom. No discounts are given for the rooms for the guests that decide to stay. However, for wedding ceremonies, honeymoon suites are complimentary for one night. For the last customer segmentation is come from walk-in customers. These customers either are brought by taxi drivers from the airport or when during the holiday season such as Chinese New Year. During this time, customers are referred by other hotels that do not have vacancy at their own facility. No discounts are offered to these customers and they have to pay for their breakfast. The second step is that the hotel will do is to calculate the revenue attributable for each segment. As you can see from the table, the data was provided by the hotel's accountant who works with the researcher to explain how the costs were developed. Researcher was given access to customer bills, vouchers, and monthly statements. And lastly, sales figures were checked to the annual report with accountants. Well, that's all from me. I will pass the floor to Miss Amni to continue for the rest of the step of real case example. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Ms. Ezureen. My name is Noor Amni and now I will continue the presentation. I will continue with step 3, which is use attributable based costing to determine the cost attributable to each segment. The hotel divides its cost center into 7 major areas to determine the cost incurred to serve each customers. The management applies the time equation, which uses the time-driven activity-based costing. We can see table 3 where it shows annual cost for each customer segments. Now we will continue with step 4, which is analyzing the profitable versus less profitable or unprofitable customer segments. The customer segments are ranked according to profitability. The highest contribution to the hotel's profit comes from corporate clients, which is segment 1. And the second highest generating profit is generated by guests under tour packages, which is segment 2. And the third highest profitability is generated by individuals or family that come in through online booking or direct reservations, which is segment 3. Next is step 5, which is develop strategies to maximize profits from profitable customers and reduce or eliminate less profitable or non-profitable customers. Based on the profitability analysis, the hotel decided to improve its marketing efforts by doing 2 things. Firstly, pursuing more corporate clients. The hotel will recruit more marketing executives to contact and follow up with corporate clients that need to visit the Penang area. The hotel will be offering additional perks such as free airport pickup and drop-off services. Secondly, more events will be held. The management will focus on bringing in more events such as seminars, conferences, weddings, and parties. The marketing team are going through event management companies and also ramping up social media advertisements targeted at this segmented group. The last step is step 6, which is impact of the new strategies on the performance of the new customer segments. The company can focus more to profitable customers, which is customers of segment 1 and 2, and reducing unprofitable, high-maintenance customers. Next is no additional investment made on marketing activities for segments 2, 3, and 5. Last is ramp up marketing strategies for customer segment 2 and 4. I think that's all from us. Thank you.